All right, so I think the first part I just want to go over basically where we are so far. I know the class is just beginning, but kind of want to see where we are on the larger semester schedule and see if anybody has any questions. So the first thing I'm going to do is look at the email that I sent everybody. Not only is that a list of presenters, but it's our schedule for the semester as well. And so we've been through psychoanalytic theory last week, and you should have done the very first week is just introductions on the discussion board. Last week, you had your first real discussion board where you talked about dreams. And so the first thing I want to ask is, does anybody want to share any interesting dreams or your own interpretations? Did it work? Did it match what feelings you were having in your real life? Are there any examples? This is usually a good topic. Go ahead.
They experienced like a lot of fear, anxiety, and they described like feeling anxiety pretty much every day in their life, but never fear. So I thought that was interesting that a lot of their dreams like have those two themes, but one is always like ever present compared to the other one.
So in the dream, they experienced the two feelings of fear and anxiety, but in their daily life, they said they only experience anxiety.
Yes, they don't hear about things.
So there is an interesting psychological thing to that. So in the dream, I'm guessing it was like fear for their life, as being chased by a monster or something like that. And in real life, they may not encounter that significant instance of fear. However, anxiety is actually the result of an underlying fear. So, but it's usually not a fear for our lives. It's usually fear of the unknown, fear of change, fear of a lack of control over what might be happening, fear of being judged or rejected by others, fear of not being good enough. So it makes perfect sense to me that in the dream is really telling them that anxiety is a result of their deeper fear. Yeah, good example. Somebody else have their hand up? Any other examples of the dreams? Anybody online?
I have one if no one else is waiting to go. So I thought a really effective, great little assignment. My wife has been having a reoccurring dream for God since she was a teenager about being stuck in an elevator. And she had one recently, and it hadn't been a while, and she like told this whole thing. It went on forever about getting lost in a museum in a haunted house, and the only way to get out was to like jump in this elevator, and she knew it was a bad idea but did it anyways. And then it was like going all crazy erratically, and it would like open at wrong places, or it would open where it was she'd have to climb through and it might chop her in half. And so she was, and then of course it took her to where she didn't want to go. And then I asked her some of the feelings she was experiencing in the dream, and she talked about having like a lack of control. And then I said, then I followed up with anything happening in your life today where you feel like that. And then she opened up into this whole thing where she's on the job hunt. She's like a postdoc and she's looking for like tenure professor jobs, and just like feels like they just keep popping up out of nowhere, and she's got to apply and they're all over the country. And just feels completely overwhelmed. And she said it was like the first time ever of having that dream she'd been able to connect it to something actually going on in her life at the moment. So it was pretty cool and interesting to do.
It is. I'm glad she was able to make that connection. And you know, if we were in therapy, then we would talk about how to deal with that sense of not having control. But even deeper, it's the real issue is not the lack of control.
Mm,
The real issue is the need for control.
interesting. I have to be careful about with my wife.
I know that's a dangerous thing. That's great. Yeah. I mean, I can speak from my own experience, and a control issue is really a fear of being rejected by others, feeling as though we have to meet some conditions in order to be loved and accepted for who we are, rather than feeling that we deserve unconditional love and acceptance. Yeah.
That makes sense.
What's her doctorate in?
It's in US history.
All right. Good, good. Anybody else? Just speak up. All right. Well, I hope that you're at least enjoying these discussion boards to some degree. There is a part where you'll have to talk about lectures and readings, but I hope to find some activity that you will also find interesting. I will, we only have 2 completed so far, but so, you know, I will have those 2 graded and make comments on them before next class. And let's see. Okay, so the next thing, if you don't mind, look at the email I sent out today, even if you want to look at it on your phone. Make sure I didn't make any mistakes, like make sure your name's not down there twice or something like that for the presentations. And if you look at it right now, we're in week 3. We're just getting started in the semester, and nobody's presenting until week 5. And so week 5, person-centered. And if anybody is presenting and you need help, let me know so I don't log out. I'll stay after class, either online or in person, and answer any questions, maybe give you some guidance, talk about your character, whatever you need. Remember, all of the instructions were in a previous class. I recorded it. I put them up there for everybody to watch as far as the video. And the Dropbox for that is in week 1. No matter what week you're doing it. I just wanted to make one Dropbox for all of them. Also, well, does anybody have any problems or questions with the way I put that together? All right. And I'm hoping, once again, I'm hoping you'll both learn from that experience of creating the counseling video, but I also hope you have some fun with it. You know, have some fun with your character. Now, as we look at the semester, because you do have a lot to do. You've got discussion boards, you've got a final paper, you've got the video project, and you've got 2 take-home exams that you can use your book and notes for, and my lectures. So there used to be 3 exams for this course. I got rid of the first exam. That's why if you look at the itinerary, it starts with exam 2. There is no exam 1. I cut it out. But I didn't want to rename all the drop boxes and everything. So I just left it exams 2 and 3. But don't worry, there is no exam 1. I thought that would give you time to get started in the course. It's not until week 7. It feels more like a midterm now, and the final exam feels more like a final exam. And I just thought you had too much to do in the course, so I took one out. And before I hand out that exam, I will definitely go over in detail everything you need to know about it, and let you ask questions. We'll outline the theories that are going to be on the exam, and so you'll feel comfortable taking it. The only thing I want to reiterate is, no matter what project you're working on in this class, whether it's an exam, just because it's take home open book, or your video, or the final paper, these assignments take a long time to complete. They're not something you can complete in a couple hours like an undergrad exam or a paper. I give you a lot of time to do them because they take a lot of time. So please don't wait until the last minute and then get sick or have a crisis or something like that. Ask for an extension. Please start on them early. I can tell you that on the very first exam was Freud and Adler, so they're not going to be on the next exam. And I don't even think existential is going to be on the next exam. That doesn't mean don't memorize them. They're going to be on your comps. They're going to be on the NCE. You still have to know it. But what that leaves you with is 3 theories, and they are person-centered, Gestalt, and choice theory. And those are the 3 theories that are going to be on that exam. All right. What else? So, hey, we are on track. We're not falling behind. Today we're going to go over Adler, and yeah, that's about it. All right, any questions about the schedule or assignments or partners or anything like that? All right, great.